with you guys and hope that you can grab a little piece of their testimony and carry it on with you with our journey and grab some inspiration with it and become something beautiful. Tonight, I brought on Alyce Rain to share her testimony. I hope I got her name right. Without further ado, here she is. Drum roll, please. And cue. Hi, Elise.
Hey.
How are you today? I'm good. I'm good.
So nice to see you. And yes, you got my name right, Elise. That's
Woo-hoo!
me. And you guys can probably hear by my bogan accent that I'm in Australia. So my name, I'm Alyce. My name's Alyce Rain. I'm 34 and I live in Melbourne, Australia. Not Melbourne, Florida. I heard that there's a Melbourne there, which can be annoying when you're trying to order things online. Be careful. So yes, I live in Melbourne. I work as an allied health assistant. So I'm currently working with the elderly, and especially through COVID, that's been keeping me very busy.
For sure.
Yeah, very busy. Hell yeah. So I have a partner. We've been together for 10 years and we live just the two of us in a really cool house with a big backyard, and I have lots of animals. So I have a pug named Meatloaf, who's the love of my life. Meatloaf.
That's a cool name. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and I've adopted a cat with my house whose name's Katie, and she's blind. So we're all kind of very inclusive here at our house, and we all get around. So I'm passionate about animals and gardening, and obviously it's locked down at the moment, so there's not much more going on than gardening and eating. Really, with animals.
So you go out and you harvest. You go out, you plant food, you harvest it, and bring it right in and fry it up, huh?
Yeah, well, I wish I was that nifty. It's more, I can grow a few herbs. That's about it. But it's more kind of more of a houseplant vibe. Yeah, let's just see. Yeah. So, definitely. Well, I don't know about over there, but over here in Australia, the indoor plant scene has really come back. It was a real 70s, 80s thing, and now everyone's really back into it. So it keeps me busy. Yeah. So you got
the full UV light and all that stuff set up in your house for your plants and all that, or?
Geez, well, it sounds like you should be into gardening. No, I don't, but you've got beautiful light there, but it's winter here at the moment, so that's why I'm wrapped up.
It makes me look angelic, so that's why I picked the spot,
I know, you look,
Mark here.
I bet your wife decorated that room and cleans it. Looks very nice.
Yeah, she did. She's the decorator of the house. She watches a lot of Chip and Joanna Gaines. I don't know if you know who that is.
No.
Yeah,
like the home improvement type shows, and we get a lot of those shows.
They buy houses and remodel them and fix them up and then sell them for a huge profit.
Yeah, we get a lot of those flip shows here, the American ones. There's a channel where I feel like it's all American reality shows. So I can watch them for a little bit, and then I'm like, oh, get out of here. But we have them here too. Yeah.
You're like, I had enough of this. I've had enough of this American stuff. Yeah.
These Yankees. No, it's good. It's good. But so we're just dealing with COVID at the moment. So I'm like everyone is in the world, and we're just locked down. I'm looking at my house at the moment. It's a pigsty, so that's what I'll be doing today: cleaning.
There you go.
Walking the dog.
Yeah, because you just woke up over there, right? Because what time is it over there?
I did. So it's just 11 a.m. So that makes me sound bad. I woke, I've just gotten dressed. It's really cold over here. So I've got heaters going. My dog's in front of the heater at the moment, and it's been raining. It's really miserable. So
Well, that's sleeping weather anyways. So I mean,
yeah, thanks.
don't feel bad about being 11 o'clock. Yeah, you're good. You're good.
Exactly. It's Saturday here, so it's a weekend.
Yeah.
My dad's off,
Yeah.
so I got up for you.
Yeah. See, you're good. You're good. So, let's go ahead and jump in. I want to know who Alyce. So obviously, we're gonna dive into all the juicy, details of the story. Of what happened, with Alyce. But I want to know who Alyce was, like, what was she about? What did she do, pre your incident?
Yeah. Well, look, so I'm not sure if you want me to delve into it right now, but yeah, I had a stroke about 6.5 years ago. And I do identify or see my life as very much pre and post stroke. Like, with so many things, I'll be like, oh, even if my sister comes over or something really casual, I'll be like, oh, I bought that pre-stroke, or no, that's post-stroke. Like, it's very, like, yeah, it's quite funny. I do it with very trivial things, but then,
It's a monumental thing. With my hand shaking. Stop shaking.
I know.
But it's a monumental thing, that happens in our life, that that we can't forget, for instance, like when someone gives birth to a child, that's a milestone. It's something that happens in someone's life that they can't forget, and a lot of people in the stroke community, they don't like this analogy or someone thinking this way, but it's almost like, that we are not necessarily reborn, but but we're a different person. And hold on 1 second. So a lot of people in the stroke community don't like that terminology. So I just want to address that. They say that they're the same person that they were before stroke, that they are now stroke, or post-stroke, pre-stroke, post-stroke, that they're the same person, right? Granted, yes, they're the same person, but that milestone where they had the stroke, it's there. And as you have already stated, you use that, that happened pre-stroke, that happened post-stroke, right? So, it's there, Okay, so let's go back to who was Alyce pre-stroke.
Yes, okay. I'll just quickly say that, I totally agree. Some people do not like that. I'll say, so I'm just speaking for myself, that I do see myself pre and post, and almost reborn in a way. So the person I was pre-stroke, I had my stroke at 27. I'm 34 now. So I suppose
Lies. You are only like 22 years old.
Thanks. I wish, but no, I don't wish. I'm glad I'm not in my 20s anymore. The person that I was, look, to be honest, when I really think about who I was, I felt that I wasn't who I was meant to be in a way. I felt, I was young. I was going out doing the things that 20-year-olds do. I had a really amazing childhood, a very supportive family, great friends, all the rest of it. Traveled. I've lived in different states, different cities. I've done kind of all those kind of things that you want to tick off. And by the time I was at 27, I'd already been with my partner for 3 years. We'd just gotten a dog. We'd just moved out, just the two of us for the first time, which is, the first thing I've done as well, just be out. And especially being a woman, you're going, oh, I'm 27 now. I'm thinking about maybe I'd like to get married. I'd like to, live a normal life. But when I look back I was quite an anxious person. I suppose I was depressed a lot. I wasn't really happy in my job. Body issues. I wasn't. I had made new friends. Living in a new city and things like that. But I didn't feel like they were exactly my people. I felt, I don't know, I wasn't completely comfortable in my skin pre-stroke. Like if I hadn't had a stroke, I probably would have thought that, I might not have thought that, but now that I've got this different perspective, pre and post, that's how I look back now and go, I'm glad I'm not that person anymore. But with saying that, I still have the same core values. I still have the same morals. I was raised very well. I still have the same manners and mannerisms, I suppose. I still treat people the same. I still love animals and gardens, all that. That's still me at the core. I still have these views on life and all that spirituality and all those kind of things are there still inside.
Yeah, so the core Elise is still there. It's just the outer, like the outer perspective, has shifted and remolded. Now, would you say that hold on, so Anne here, one of the viewers says, life has a new perspective after all this, new appreciation. Hi, guys. Anne is actually a relative of mine, and she actually had a stroke as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Well, hi, Anne. Thanks for watching.
Yeah. And so going back to what I was saying, so the core values are still there, and then, having the stroke kind of gives you like the new perspective on life and reshapes, remolds, and everything to, I believe, a better person. Myself. I believe. That's what I believe. Right.
Yeah. Absolutely, I agree. So I felt that, yes, the core values are still there, and I won't go into the nitty-gritty just yet, but I felt like I had to be really pushed right down to the bottom and rebuilt. And I feel like the person I am now, 6.5 years stroke, is a more confident, much happier, and more weirdly independent. I mean, sometimes I have to ask people to get things from high shelves. I just feel, I actually feel a lot happier in my life. It's taken me a long time to get here, I'm not going to lie. But I actually am, I've got a career that I'm very passionate about. I get up and I'm happy to go to work. I help people, and I love that. I feel like I'm paying it back for the people that looked after me. But it's funny. I've had people that I've said maybe a year ago or so to a colleague and a friend that I'm happier now post-stroke than I was pre-stroke, and they were like, "Oh my God, are you serious? Like, how? Like, how are you happier now living with a disability and after having a stroke?" But it seems to shock people. But for some reason, once I've gotten to a good spot, I'm just happy. I'm content, I suppose, at the moment. I walk slow. I have a limp, and things are a bit harder, and as you know, but Screw it. I'd rather be happy and have good people around me. That's another thing I think when you go through a traumatic experience, you do find the people that will stand by your side, and some may not. And you find your people, even meeting you, Mark, across the world, it's like, hey, this is fun people, So
Terrified.
all the experiences that I've had have been, yeah. Woo! So, things like this, I wouldn't have been able to do stuff like this pre-stroke. I didn't know, so yeah. Oh, don't let me ramble on. So you cut me off.
Oh, no, you're good. You're good.
I
Yeah,
don't
because
ramble.
you're good. I was gonna jump in and speak, kind of like piggyback off of what you were saying as well. If this, and I tell people this all the time, if this hadn't happened to me, granted mine happened when I was 15, and this is what my motto is. My hat is extremely dirty, I'm sorry, but it's choices determine your future.
Yeah,
right?
love that.
So you're left with at a crossroad at some point, and you determine if you go this way or that way with it. So had this not happened to me when I was 15, I would not be sitting right here talking to you. I would not have the amazing wife that I have now. I would not have the 4 beautiful children that I have now. So like you said, yes, we walk with a limp. Yes, we can't do the same tasks that everyone else can do with hands. But does that constitute our happiness? The measurement of our happiness? No, it doesn't.
Exactly. And that's kind of exactly how I see things as well, Mark. So I totally, that's exactly how I say. I kind of look, if I hadn't had this stroke, I wouldn't be, firstly, I wouldn't be who I am. I wouldn't have the career that I have now. I had to get a new career. I wouldn't be doing that with all the amazing people that I work with and I've met. My relationship, although I'm with the same person, it's very different now. We are closer. We support each other really well. Obviously, he was there for me, the whole learn to walk, all the rest of it. But it's actually brought us a lot closer together. And it just also shows, I'm close with my family. Yeah, I've met lots of new people. And I also find there's this one thing about, I'll just quickly go into about meeting people. There's this whole meeting people as the person that I am post-stroke to people that have known me before and after. It's very different. It's an interesting thing. So it's been really nice being able to meet people for who I am now rather than who I was before.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's interesting. A bit of food for thought, I suppose. I'm thinking, well,
100%.
Yeah.
I was going to, this was a show that I was going to do yesterday by myself. So, you and I seem to be on the same page. We were going to jump into today. We were going to jump into, your stroke story and all that stuff. But I think with, the way that you're talking and knowing since we are in Genyus together and both host the coffee club together. So I think we're going to shift this show a little bit. And we're going to go ahead and talk about going the same direction that we were going in, as far as how why we're not stuck in our current circumstance. as far as having a stroke. You cool with that?
Absolutely, yeah. Let's go for it.
Let's roll with it. Let's roll with it, Alyce. Alyce. I got myself.
Parents for that one, the spelling.
I got myself. Caught myself.
Good on you.
All
Good.
right. So, like we already started. I'm a firm believer, 100% firm believer that everything happens for a reason.
Me too.
So we kind of already talked about it a little bit. Your perspective, my perspective on it. Now, we go from being, now remember this conversation, Elise, Alyce, I'm sorry. Elise. Okay.
That's the one.
So remember this conversation is going to be third party conversation. Okay, but it's still both of us talking. Okay, so this conversation is meant for the stroke community. Okay.
Gotcha.
All right, let's roll. All right. So now for you and I, we're comfortable with where we're at as far as when we had our stroke, where we were during our stroke, what happened afterwards. You're in a stroke group. I'm in a ton of stroke groups. A lot of people are not. Sorry, a lot of people are not. They don't understand why it has happened to them. So let's tackle that.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, so I think that the most important aspect of it is PMA, which stands for Positive Mental Attitude. Okay, so positive mental attitude is one of the most important factors going into any situation that you go into, right? Whether it's going in and taking a test for school, whether it's going in and doing your physical therapy, whether it's going in and going in for a job interview, right? If you go into any of those things thinking, I'm not going to do this, I'm not going to get this job, I'm not going to pass this test, what's going to happen, Elise? What's going to happen?
You're going to, possibly fail.
Yeah, exactly.
I know that's a hard word to kind of say, but I think I'm very similar to you, Mark. I'd never really used to think like that, but I do now, especially with things like job interviews. My physio was a big one as well. Actually, going back to more the stroke side, when I was in rehab, so I was in rehab, an acquired brain injury ward for 3 months. And my family actually were really helpful. My brother-in-law in particular was very helpful with this. We said, when I go into this ward, I have to see my physio and my rehab as kind of like a boot camp. And I've got to go in there and think, I'm here to get better, I'm here to get better. And I've got to be positive, try and stay positive. It's very difficult in that situation. But try and go into each session, whether it be your OT or your speech or your physio or psychology, whatever, go in and try and think, I'm going to give this the best that I can, and I have to, not with putting pressure on yourself. You don't want to put pressure on yourself, but just try and think, I want to try and get out as much as I can out of this session or interview or whatever it is, and just try and represent yourself as well as you can. Put on your, your best smile and just try and go in there and tackle it. Like when I go to interviews, I've had quite a few over the last maybe year, just with different jobs and COVID and all these things.
Yeah.
And every time before I go in, I kind of psych myself up a bit. I'm not like, doing Rocky Balboa or anything like that, but I'm just like, kind of do a bit of self-talk. Actually, I don't tell many people that I do that, but I do self-talk, even out loud. So I'm like, I'll be in the car or something, and I'm like parked, ready to go in, and I'm like, okay, Alyce, you got this. You got this. You can do this. And I just do that. Like even with things like Mark, I was telling you in a Genyus session about the stair issues. There's all these stairs in my work, and I would, even when I get to a set of stairs, if they look, if they're not ones that I'm used to all the time, I kind of look up at them and I'm like, Alyce, you got this, girl. You got this. And up I go. So I feel like I almost need to put myself in this mind. And I mean, don't get me wrong, I do have ups and downs, and some days I don't want to go into work, or some days you feel shit. Look, we're only human. But I think if you can really try and get yourself there, whether it be self-talk like I do, or think of something positive, or even in hard situations, I think of something nice, like I think of my dog or things that make me happy. But yeah, I am with you there, Mark. Like I'm all about that. I call it positive mind attitude, but what do you call it? Positive mental attitude?
Positive mental attitude, yeah.
So pretty much same thing, but yeah. Seems like I go by that too. Just try and get in the zone is kind of how I think about it. I'm like, come on, we're going for it. Let's go. Let's get in that zone.
100%.
And look, it can be tiring sometimes when I'm having my downtime. If I have my downtime, I don't have to be switched on all the time. So if I'm chilling out or doing something, or if I just want to be alone, that's fine. You can kind of be in that moment and be in that feeling, that mood that you're in. But if you've got things to tackle, physio especially, it does make a big difference going in trying to give it your all and try and think, you got this, and
like Cal was saying, I think in our last captain's meeting, but one of the most important aspects of anything is you. So you have to cut out, time slots in your day every day for you. Whether it's just, just to sit there and, just veg out and look up at the ceiling or anything,
Oh yeah.
Just 10 minutes, whatever, just the time slots for yourself,
Exactly. And this almost goes into a bit of dealing with things like fatigue and my walking is difficult and I do suffer a lot from fatigue, cognitive, and I just can't hit a wall. And that's taken me years to understand and also learn to manage. I'm getting a lot better at managing it now, but it's a daily kind of battle. So when you're saying about giving yourself time, I remember years ago my physio, her name's Jeanette, and she was pretty much one of the main ladies that got me where I am now. And we became very, very close as well. And one thing she used to say to me when I couldn't get it in my head how to manage what I had to do for the day and how do I do these things without exhausting myself too much. And kind of like what you just said, Mark, about giving yourself this time slot, you have to, deliberately think, no, I'm going to not do anything on this day, or I'm going to do this in the morning or whatever. Like you said today, you ran lots of errands, and I'm sure you had in the back of your mind, okay, I've got to do this thing in the evening. So you try not to burn yourself out. I mean, we have the days where you do too much.
Yeah, for sure.
But my physio gave me this really good tip that it just stuck with me. And she said, think about your day as money. So she'd say, okay, so you've got $10 for the day. and you know you've got to do these chores or you've got to do these things. So she would say, okay, so you've got $10 for the day and you know you have a physio session, and think about the $10 about how much energy and effort, mentally, physically, all the rest of it you're going to use. So I would be going, okay, well, physio is a huge part. So I would say that's going to be
$9.
yeah. I'm like, oh man, this is a big day. So I'd go, it's going to be $7, $8, $9. So basically I would say, okay, that's on a Tuesday or whatever. That Tuesday, I ain't booking anything else. I'm not having a visit. I'm not going to go do anything social. I'm not going to go and do groceries. I'm not going to go wash my car. Things like that. So I'm planning these days. So that was very early on in my rehab. So the money went up. So yeah, it'd be $9 for that day.
Yeah.
And now, so as I'm getting stronger and managing my fatigue more, that I could go, oh, that might be like $4 or $5. It sounds so silly, but then I could.
It's not. It's
yeah,
good advice.
like
It really is.
it just, yeah, like I know it's silly to think about it as money, but it just stuck. It really stuck with me. So I kind of do this when I think about work. So I work 3 days a week, which is, I say that's equivalent to me working full time, because I'm done. 3 days, I'm done. So I go, okay, I work this day. That day, that's like $9, right? I ain't doing anything else on the days that I work. So even I work out things like that with my partner. So the days that I work, I don't walk my dog. So I get up, get ready to work. I go to work, I come back and take it easy. He usually will cook dinner on days that I work, things like that. So just knowing your limits as well, I think, is a huge thing. Yeah, so that's just coming off what that just made me think about that, Mark, as you said, take it easy, lay back, take it easy.
Right.
So even like with today, I know that I might be a bit tired after this. I'm like, oh, I'll take dog for a quick walk, and then, hey, it's cold, I'll probably just watch Netflix. So yeah.
Netflix and chill.
Hell yeah. We do it over here too.
Right.
Thanks for Netflix, guys.
Yeah. I was supposed to, like you were kind of alluding to, I was supposed to run to Lowe's, right before, I was running errands, like you said. And I was supposed to run to Lowe's, and I looked at the time. I was like, nah, I'm not going to have enough time to get prepared for, my show. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You can think, what's a bit, you kind of got to play it up. What's more important? Groceries, and you're like, okay, I kind of need food. So I'll do that rather than going and catching up with someone or something, Yeah, I suppose it's a bit of food for thought to anyone that's suffering or not suffering, I suppose, just having a bit of trouble managing their. I mean, that's for people that, even people that haven't had some kind of trauma, physical, mental, just for anyone. I know people that do way too much in their day and they're stressed all the time. And I'm like, Jesus, take a step back. Don't do too much.
There's a lady in that room over there.
Yeah.
That's managing 4 kids. She does.
Oh no! Yeah.
She does way too much.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm sure
that amazing lady over there.
Oh, good on her. 4 kids. Lord, I don't even have one. I got a dog. That's enough. He's just come into the room. Yeah, a dog and a blind cat. It's enough. And guinea pigs.
And guinea pigs.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So let's jump into a lot of because you said that you've been with your partner for 13 years.
No. Oh, wow. Yeah, 10 years.
10 years.
So we're coming up to 10 years this year. Yeah.
Yeah. So how did you guys' relationship? You said it grew stronger after you had your stroke.
Yeah, I did, I suppose. I think before I might have got a little bit more frustrated with trivial things. Yeah, you're like, And I think just knowing when you've been through something like a stroke and it's so sudden, and one day you guys, so Yuri, that's my partner, we were getting ready to go to a barbecue the day that I had my stroke, and I said, I'm just going to take the dog for a quick walk. And I had my stroke while, as you know, Mark, while I was at the park walking the dog, and then I had my stroke.
Let's go ahead and talk about it a little bit.
Yeah.
So you were about to go to a party, or you were at the party?
We were about to go. So I had been out shopping with my sister for the day, and then she dropped me home, and Yuri and I like, all right, we'll go to this barbecue tonight. And I thought, yep, just quickly walk the dog before we go. And then I had my stroke while I was at the park. My leg started feeling a bit strange. I was playing with him. I was doing this kind of, he was a puppy, so I'm playing tug of war. And you know how you kind of tug of war and you go around on the spot? So I had made myself a little bit dizzy. So I thought, oh, I'm a bit dizzy, I'll just sit down. So I'm sitting down on a park bench and I stand up and my left leg started to feel a bit like jelly. And I was like, oh, that feels really strange. Like, oh, it's not good. Sit down again for a second. And I was like, oh, no, I could feel it going up my body. And I just thought, nah, this isn't right. Like, I actually knew, I was like, this has got something to do with my brain. Like, it just felt, it was so sudden, and I just knew, I'm like, this is serious. This is happening. Something's happening. And I was about 3 blocks away from my house, and I just grabbed the dog and I started walking, because one thing I've really learned, another tip, is that when I was out, I didn't have my phone on me and I didn't have any ID. So I was really scared to just collapse at the park. There were people there. Look, I'm sure somebody would have come and helped me, but I was so petrified that I was going to lose my dog. I didn't want him to run away. He was just a puppy. So I managed to walk 3 blocks up the road while the stroke was slowly working its way up. So it started at the feet and then up.
Right.
Luckily, my dog he's my little hero. He guided me home. He kind of knew the way and managed to get in the house, and then that's where I collapsed. And it was the whole left side of my body. Yeah, except my face, and my speech wasn't affected. But I was conscious the whole time. I can remember it all perfectly.
Wow.
A bit scary, but
Yeah,
totally. So Yuri was there, luckily, and the ambulance. And so I suppose just going through that with somebody that we just had a normal relationship, boyfriend, girlfriend, dog, about to go to barbecue, just typical relationship, really. And then it's just this sudden, holy crap, our lives have changed forever. Not just mine, my family, his family. That's it. I'm sure you totally understand, especially having a stroke in your teens. I can't even imagine. So, from that moment, he's following the ambulance, it just changed. So he had a choice, I suppose, where he could either stick with me and we go through this together, or he could walk away. Because I have heard of many instances where the partner can't deal with it or handle it, or they don't want to, and they do walk away. I've seen that firsthand. And I do remember sitting in the hospital, laying in the hospital bed, and I did say to him, you can leave. You don't have to stay for this. We can break up. And he is just like, don't be stupid. Like, what are you talking about? That's ridiculous. I would never do that. And then he made a joke or whatever, and it was never spoken of again. So I'm very lucky. He's a good man. But
you're gonna make me cry.
Oh no! I'm not. No, God. See, it it's not really that emotional for me anymore. I think because I don't know, it's funny. I'm kind of, I don't know. Yeah, it's nice. I don't really get a chance to talk about it, but yeah, exactly. He's not here, so you can't hear all the nice things I'm saying about him.
That's all right. That's all right. It's all going to be on YouTube. So
good. Well, I'm just looking over, and there's all these dishes that need to be done. So don't worry, I'll make him do that when it's back to normal now.
Like, hey, I got a surprise for you, but you can't watch it until all the dishes are done.
Yeah, exactly right. I like that.
Right.
So I suppose just with the relationship thing, I believe once you've been through something like that, there isn't any going back. Things were serious. We went through, I had a brain operation, so he, with my family and his family, had to, I suppose, wait to see how that went.
You didn't share with everyone what caused your stroke.
Yeah, so my stroke was caused by an AVM, and I can never really say it probably, but it's an arterial
ultravenous malformation.
Yes, thank you. Was yours the same, Mark?
Yeah, I had an AVM as well.
Yeah. It seems that if you come across somebody that's young and had a stroke, that's usually the case. I've met a few people that have had AVMs, and so I know just quickly with AVMs, they sometimes can be detected before, but with my case, I didn't have any symptoms or anything. Wasn't suffering migraines. Life was just totally fine, and then it just hit me.
So did it burst? Did it?
Yeah. So it just like
Bleed?
it's like weak. Yeah. So I guess it's just like a weak blood vessel. So it just the lining would just burst, and then it was just a big bleed.
Yeah.
And as a result, I did have to have a craniotomy to put a clip in. So I'm not too sure if you have one in your brain, Mark. It's like a little.
They completely, they completely removed the whole thing. It took like 3 surgeries for them to completely remove mine.
Sorry, how many surgeries?
3.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah,
wow.
They went in and well, I mean, I've had like 5 brain surgeries total. But they went in and they thought they got the whole AVM, CAT scan, MRI, found out they didn't get the whole AVM. Then they had to go back in and get the rest of the AVM. But yeah. So in a nutshell, I don't want to take up all your time on your show, but
no, like I'm sorry, I didn't. Yeah, I can
show you my battle wounds.
Yeah, I got the scars and whoa. Oh wow. Damn.
There's that.
Holy moly. Wow. Jeez.
Yeah, so they opened that one up. 3, 4, 5, 6. They opened that one up 6 times on the top. And then they opened up this one 4 times. They opened up this one 4 times.
God. Yeah. God, it's bad enough recovering from one, let alone numerous.
Yeah, so that's why that one. That's why that one looks so gnarly.
Pretty good.
Yeah, because the like this isn't even the bone right here. The bone that was there got infected, so they had to remove the bone, and then put it in a plate and all that stuff.
A plate? Yeah.
But they didn't put in the plate till 3 years later, so I had to wear a helmet. This all happened my freshman year, so I had to wear a helmet from my freshman year to my junior year.
God.
Yeah. So, but what really happened is I was camping out on the border of Arizona and Mexico, and I heard an Indian cry like, "Yay!" And
really?
He shot me in the throat right here, and I was going in and out of consciousness.
Hang on. Is this true?
And I was going in and out of consciousness, and I laying on the ground, and I remember seeing this Indian guy standing over top of me, and he reached down and he took out a knife and he tried to scalp me right here. Before he could finish, my dad came and tackled him, and they started wrestling on the ground. And the Indian guy pulled on a knife from down here and tried to stab my dad. My dad grabbed his arm and broke it and took the knife from him and decapitated him. And his head is resting above the fireplace on the mantle. And the reason why I walk with a limp is because I was swimming out in the ocean on my boogie board. We're on our boogie board, my best friend and I felt something hit my leg, and I didn't think anything of it. And then 5 seconds later, wham, a shark grabs my leg and starts thrashing me around. And then all of a sudden it stops, and big old cloud of blood comes up. I'm freaking out. My friend's freaking out. My leg pops to the surface, so I'm using my leg to stay afloat. But because of the blood in the water, more sharks started coming. So I grab my leg by the ankle, and I make as much commotion as possible so they wouldn't eat us. And then a helicopter comes and drops down a tow rope. So I grab my leg by the thigh and I hook my ankle on the tow rope, and they lifted us out of there.
Oh, that's good.
So
very creative.
At 15 years old, you get people coming up to you and asking you, you're walking with a limp, you have, a helmet on, your left arm's like this, and you're walking with a cane and this and that, and you're so young, you're still, your mind's still developing, you don't really know what's going on, yourself. And you get people coming up, just complete strangers coming up to you and asking you, what happened to you, And that's such an emotional and deep story. You don't want to share that with a complete stranger. So that's what I made up. Those two stories right there are the two stories that I made up.
I almost believed it.
Yeah, and I got so good at telling them that people would actually be like,
"Oh shit!
Are you serious?"
I know. For a second, I was like, "Hang on."
And sometimes I would just walk away, and let them think that. But or I'd finish it up with, and then one time at band camp.
Oh, that's good. I like that.
And then obviously, they would know that that it was a joke. But and that's kind of like one of the ways, that we can deal with these emotions is, we have to find a different avenue, with dealing with these emotions and not keep it pent up, and if you keep it pent up, it turns into anger.
It really does. Yeah.
And I dealt with mine with humor, and I kind of still do, I'm
the same. Like especially with my sister, because my sister was there with me every step of the way. Because when I had my stroke, my parents don't live in the same state as I do, so it was very much my partner Yuri. His mum was around a lot, and his dad, and then my sister and my brother-in-law were really kind of that real core people that were around the whole time. And we just kind of, even when I was still in the immediate hospital, even before I had surgery, we were joking about it. I'm very similar to you, Mark. I think you just got to bloody laugh about it. But the thing is, it's my joke to make. So I don't want other people that don't know me. I mean, my sister and whatever, and obviously we can joke about it.
Right.
But yeah, you don't want people you don't know or know that well saying shit. which luckily I haven't really had. But when you were saying about how people would just come up to you and ask, what's wrong with you, whatever, I definitely experienced that almost every time I would go out to try and do something, especially by myself, which took a very long time to be able to have the confidence to go out to the shops by myself, as well as it would be incredibly exhausting. And my anxiety was just through the roof after I had my stroke. So you'd be walking with a cane. I had a brace around my leg for a long time.
Yeah, I had one of those.
People would just come up to you and go, "Oh, what did you do to yourself?" And it would always, it depends on what kind of mood I was in. The moods are very, very up and down, especially early on. I'm sure you can understand. Your brain's trying to figure out what the hell's going on. So, of course, it depends on how I would sometimes just go, oh, firstly, I just it's none of your business to begin with. But I could never really have the balls to do it, lack of a better term. My family would always joke and would say, you should just make something up, like a shark attack was always that, or this or that. But I found that I almost liked the shock value of telling them that I'd had a stroke and that I had to learn to walk again, because then they would be more shocked than if I did say it was a shark attack, I think, because people don't understand that young people have strokes as well. I'm sure, right. Especially being a teenager, Mark, that would have been incredibly difficult. So I kind of liked them being left almost speechless, and I would just go and I'd kind of walk away. Like, this would be just buying stuff, a bit of checkout. Right. And I'd be like, anyone can have a stroke, and I'd pay, and then I'd just walk out. Like, any age can affect anyone, and I'd kind of scare them. They'd probably be like, oh, shit, I can have a stroke, and I'd be like, like, yeah.
Like, that the way you're twitching your leg right there, that's one of the signs. See you later. Have a nice day.
You're so realistic. I just stopped moving my leg just then. I'm an actor. I was like, I'm moving. I'm having another stroke. But yeah. So I totally get that. And actually, I'm glad I'm sorry that happened to you, but I'm kind of glad it wasn't just me. People just, how does me walking slow at a grocery store affect you? Do you know what I mean? Like, I never would go up to somebody and go, why do you have a limp? I would just, it doesn't affect me. Like, why would I?
Like when, it doesn't bother me when like little kids come up to me and ask me,
that's different. That's different.
They're little kids. And now I don't tell the shark story or the Indian story. I don't tell them. I just tell them straight up what happened, But when the little kids come up to me, I'll tell them, and as gentle as I can, like what happened.
You don't scare them.
But but like you said, when the adults are like, hey, what happened to you? Like, I'm just like, are you serious? Like your curiosity has you that curious that you're just gonna come up to me. Anyways, this is what happened.
It's like just randomly going up to someone and going, why are you wearing that hat? Like, you don't do, like, I don't know. But my friends and family are always just like, people like, why are people doing this? Like, it's so, anyway. But I suppose that's curiosity, isn't it? And also how people are raised. Like, you don't do things like that. But kids, that would be totally different. But I haven't had any kids after. Maybe my walking's looking better. Stairs. My legs are really a lot stronger, actually. So
good for you.
Get up those stairs.
Good for you. Way to handle those stairs like a champ. And so how long have you, just real quick, and then we're going to wrap it up. How long have you been doing the Allied?
How long have you been doing that? So I'm an allied health assistant. So that means, so allied health, I'm sure you know, Mark, but I'll just quickly say allied health is a group of disciplines that work with people in rehab and aged care, in hospitals, all over the shop. So, they work with their physios, occupational therapists, speech pathologists, podiatry, all of those that's an allied health. So when I was an inpatient at my rehab, I knew I couldn't go back to my old job, and nor did I want to. So I thought, this is the opportunity for me to change my life. And I just thought, okay, I want to work in this field. I want to help people. And originally I wanted to be an OT, but then I just was starting to discover how difficult that and how long the study was. And I just thought, oh, look, maybe I'll assist them. Yeah, so.
Like, I don't want to go to school for that long.
Yeah, no, seriously, I was like, I ain't, because to study that part-time would be 7 years. And I was like, I just want to make some coin. Like, I'll just assist. And now that I assist, I prefer it so much better because there's way less paperwork. I just see them and I'm like, screw that. So it did take a long time to become, so I had this set goal, which is also another big thing with rehab, is kind of having goals. And so this is probably my major goal, was to become an AHA, and then it was working out how am I going to get there. And there are a lot of setbacks as well. There were surgeries and health and things like that. I'm sure you can understand, Mark. So firstly, I did a very just a general education course, like just in English. So not like learning English, obviously, but computer skills, essay writing, things like that. And that was 2 half days a week. And I was still really fresh, cane, all the rest of it. So, and then I did that for about a year and a half.
Do they teach English with an Australian accent out there?
No, they well, I suppose. I got an A+. Bloody yobbos. So I did, yeah. So I kind of
correct myself.
So I did that for about a year and a half, and then went into another course, and then finally was kind of well enough to do the AHA course, which was for a year, and then had a few different jobs since. So I'm in kind of my dream job now. Thank you. Yeah. So I told you before in a post meeting, Mark, that I now work for the same hospital and people, kind of, that looked after me. So I've done this full circle.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, and then last week I went and had a look in my old room at the rehab for the first time. So that was pretty full on. But it was good because, as I was saying, Mark, I had a pass and I was getting paid to be there. So I was like, bye, swipe card, I'm out, I'm done. So done full circle now. Close it up.
Totally. Yeah, that's totally awesome. Do you have any, this show totally went in a different direction than I anticipated, and I think it came out, way better for our community than I anticipated as well. Do you have any final thoughts for the community?
Final thoughts. I suppose for anyone that's early on in their journey, when I look back at mine, it was so freaking hard. And people are going to say, stay positive, you can do it, you'll get better, you'll be there. And as nice as that is to hear and helpful it is, you are allowed to feel shit. You're allowed to be angry, and you're allowed to be sad. And it takes a long time to understand what's going on. And acquiring a disability is very different to being born with one. So your journey, it's not going to be an easy one, but believe it or not, there is light at the end of the tunnel. And I didn't think there was. I was like crying all the time, like this is shit. But now I'm bloody running upstairs. But even if you don't get to the physical, I have issues like yourself, Mark, but I'm happy. I'm content. I'm independent except for a few things, and just, yeah, positive mind attitude, guys. Just psych yourself up. You can do it. You can do it. We're there. We're here to support you.
There you go. We are here to
Find
support
your
you.
people.
Yes, 100%. And as it was pointed out earlier, and as Alyce just said, find your people. You
Yes.
know, we go through these situations, and you think you have these people in your life,
Mhm.
but when it comes down to it,
Yep.
these people that you think are your core people,
Mhm.
they don't have your back. Not every single one of them has your back. And that's when it comes down to, like, okay, who are the people that are in my life that are going to step up to the plate and have my back when I need them? So those are the people you want in your corner. And moving forward, those are the people you want in your corner. And as was pointed out, it's all about PMA, positive
Mhm.
mental attitude. You are justified to have, your days or your
Yep.
moments where, you know, you're not having a good day, you're not having a good moment. But what you're not justified in is to stay in that moment. Because
Yeah. That's
they're called moments. They're not
yeah.
called situations. They're called moments because, you can only stay in that that mindset for a brief moment, and then that positive mental attitude needs to continue forward, and it can only continue forward if you have goals set for yourself. Now, when you
Mm.
set a goal, you set your goals high, or you
Mm.
set one goal and you set it high, and then from there you set a whole bunch of little goals.
Yep.
So when you reach the small goals, you're hitting those small milestones
Mhm.
and continuing to gain confidence, that saying, hey, you know what? I can hit these goals. I can reach that goal that's way up there. So as you
Yeah.
continue to hit these goals, hit these goals, hit these goals, before you know it, you'll be able to reach that goal up there. So that's
That's,
my concluding thought.
and it was so spot on. And they can be the smallest goals, but it all leads up to that almighty goal. Then once you kick that goal, make another one.
There you go. There you go. Thank you so much
Thank
for
you.
coming on my show. I appreciate it. I'm probably going to have you on again so we could go full on in depth into
Mhm.
your story. All right.
Yeah,
So
absolutely. I'd love that.
I end all my shows with the prayer.
Yep. Go
All
for
right.
it.
Go for it.
Yeah,
I
go for it.
thought you were going to do it.
No, I've never done that.
I'm just kidding. I got it. All right. Dear Heavenly Father, thank you so much for giving Alice the opportunity to come into my life so that we can join forces to spread inspiration, joy, hope, determination to all those people that are willing to listen and open their ears, their hearts, their mind to the positive words that we're trying to spread, and hope that they can grab a hold of them and put them into their lives and put them in motion. And we ask that you can watch over everyone that is going through something with all the hard times that are going on in this world right now. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Well
All
said.
right. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And I will see you at the next coffee club.
Yeah. I'll
Well,
see you
I will be, I will be posting a link in the description for my coffee club and for Alice's coffee club.
Awesome.
Alyce,
Alyce.
Alyce, I don't even
Alyce.
remember anymore. Alyce, for Alyce's coffee club, I'll be posting both of our links. So if you want to join, it'll be there. All right.
Thanks so much. Have a good night. Yeah.